Welcome back to the Rewiring the Muse podcast. In this episode, I go deep with Peter Anspach from the band Goose, who, of course, is one of my very favorite bands to see live. They are an incredible, incredible live unit. These guys understand how to enter flow like absolute magicians. So in this episode, we really talk deeply about Peter and his ability to enter flow with the rest of the guys in his band and how important that is for his own mental health and for his own self-satisfaction. And we also talk about some of the things that he does to help continue build the environment that flow can thrive in. So I hope you find this conversation as inspiring as I did, and make sure you watch the full episode that you can find right here on YouTube.
I tell you, it's definitely like the flow state is just one of the most beautiful things that happens to me in life. I just am so fortunate to have found music, which is my gateway into that realm. And it was just, I remember I could probably tell you about the first time I really felt it. And it was when I was playing with my high school buddies at the time, where we were a band called Great Blue. And we played in my parents' basement. We came back from college for Thanksgiving break, and it was wild. We had never played together. It was 4 or 5 months since we played together because we were all at college, and we got back together in the basement, went down, and we played a Harry Hood and a Teakwood Bets, which is a perpetual groove song. And I remember that was the first time I really felt like we were all connecting on an insane level of music. And I was just like, we need to do this full time. Forget about what you're studying in college. We need to be a band and definitely take this seriously. Cause we were all we were a high school band, and we were doing the thing. And then everyone was like, okay, well, let's go get a good degree. We all went to different colleges. And then once we played together that time, we were all kind of okay, I think we should actually try and play a bunch more shows and really go after it. And that was kind of the beginning. And it all started in a flow state of that nature.
The gateway drug.
Yeah, exactly. Flow state is the gateway drug to the life as a musician. Yeah.
100%. And I think
it's addicting.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to explore is talking to Rick, it kind of happens when your antenna is up, and especially when you're creating music with people that you love and you trust each other.
Yeah.
Those are conditions that help. But I feel what I'm learning, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is for those of us who lost creativity for one reason or another, it's just like not going to the gym for a long time. Muscles, but it's hard to get into creativity if we've got rigid brains. If we don't have neuroplasticity. Yeah. There's a few pillars that allow people to have more plastic minds, but it's this kind of it's a paradox. It takes work to get there.
It does. Just coming to mind in the most recent past, I went to Amsterdam to my partner. She was DJing at a festival out there, so I went out with her, and we were out there for 5 days, and it was right before tour, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go traveling and do all this stuff right before tour. But in hindsight, it was the best thing I ever could have done. I felt like I came back to tour and I was so inspired, and I had so many ideas. I just feel if I was just at home practicing, it would not have been the same. I was doubting it. I was like, this is not going to be good. I'm not going to have a bunch of days of practice leading up to tour. Uh-oh. And then we start playing and I'm like, oh shit, this is feeling great. I have so many ideas. I'm feeling loose and creative. And I feel like I just put myself out of my comfort zone by taking a international trip for 5 days before tour, which is not something I would normally do. Or she's a DJ, so going to a bunch of DJ shows, which is also not something I normally do. And I think that was just a major switch for me that put me in a great mind state for playing out here, which is crazy.
I love that because what I think you're saying is the stakes are higher because you took risk to leave your status quo. You shook up the system. And you came back not knowing how that was going to impact your performance, and it ended up working.
Yeah, which is so great. I'm so happy that it worked. I was definitely a little nervous about it. Yeah. But I think just putting myself out of my normal systems is like always a good thing for me. Like I always think like, I also did like a solo trip to Montreal just to see a few bands that I like. And, you know, I feel like anytime, and I was a little bit like, oh, I'm just going by myself, like that's going to be I'm a little nervous, you know? But every time I do something that I feel a little bit nervous about and I succeed, and I, you know, most of the time it's not actually that scary, but, you know, I come back and I'm like, I feel great. And I'm like, well, I can do anything, you know? And I think that kind of mentality has been huge for me in terms of just like a lot of pivotal moments in my life where I've had like bursts of creativity.
That's really inspiring. You got to tell me who you saw in Montreal.
Oh, I saw Ginger Root and Mild Life.
Okay. Are they Quebec?
Mild Life is from Australia.
Okay.
Ginger Root is from LA.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So I live in the province next to Quebec.
Oh.
In New Brunswick.
Sweet.
So one of the questions that my jam band buddies on my text thread wanted me to ask is, when the hell are you guys coming to Canada?
Oh, yeah. Very soon.
Oh, really?
Very soon.
Can you come to St. John, New Brunswick?
I know. It's like, you know, it's pulling teeth just to get us to Toronto.
Yes,
I think
of course.
we're gonna get to Toronto.
Oh, we'll be there 100%. That's awesome. As a quick aside, Goose did come to Toronto, and yes, I went to see them. They played at this incredible venue called History, and then, yes, indeed, they came to New Brunswick. I live in St. John, New Brunswick, but in Fredericton, New Brunswick, the Harvest Music Festival was playing, so we were so blessed to be able to see them here in my province of New Brunswick. New Brunswick being the second time that they've ever played in Canada, all in this year. Both shows were excellent. Back to the podcast. So I play drums in a dad band.
Yeah.
And for this project, I've got this really awesome neuroscientist who brought all these EEG headsets. I don't know if you saw pictures of them.
I've seen these.
They're crazy.
Yeah,
and, like, ridiculous. And we did a full practice of our set list, mostly originals, some covers.
Okay.
And he was measuring, because you can tell where someone's brain activity gets minimized, and that's typically when you're getting into a flow state because you're not thinking.
Right.
And it's very obvious. And when you see a full band entering that exact same time, the scientist is trying to figure out what are the conditions that made that happen. So we did that in the safety of our jam space, and then we did it at a live show with an audience. Cool. With a massive screen behind the stage showing all of our brainwaves as we were playing.
Oh my God, that's wild!
It was insane and
super cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. But what we found was, in the condition that was supposed to be the safe condition, we didn't find flow at all.
Wow.
But during the risk of being vulnerable, everybody's seeing when we're nervous, so you can see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you screw up,
your
brain starts going like this.
Everyone can see.
Yeah. So what
Did
I
you
took
find it then?
away was huge flow, like
wow.
group flow, like all of us like syncing at the same time.
That's insane.
When there was huge risk.
Oh man.
So I want to ask you about that. Like, if you've ever correlated, well, we kind of just talked about it a little bit, but like on stage with you guys when you're playing, when do you find all of you are in total sync? To us as the audience, it sounds like all the time, but like
no, it's not all the time. I think like I definitely feel it, and it's honestly like sometimes we're in it, and I check in to the fact that we're in it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And I'm like, I'm doing something that I've never done before, and I'm like, how am I doing that? And then I'm like, I'm like, oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep doing it and enjoy. Like, because if you get a little too analytical, you're gone. You know,
Absolutely.
You lost it. But like, it is funny. Like, I used to not be able to like check in with it, but now I'm able to check in with it, which is really fun. You know, I'm
interesting. So you've got enough practice that you allow yourself to get analytical, and you don't lose. Yeah, you don't get out of the flow.
Yeah, I'm like, this is it. Yeah,
that's a really interesting thing, that you can stay in flow state, but also come back into your analytical mind at the same time, then bounce back in.
It's so cool, man. And then there's been a lot of times where I listen back to a recording where I know I was in the flow state, and I listen back, and it's always like the most amazing thing to experience, like reliving that moment. And I'm like, yes, like that was it, you know? And I'm like, I can hear it, and it sounds so good to me, and I'm like, it makes me joyous, you know, just to hear those moments.
How much of your conscious mind, we all see you playing the keys.
Yeah.
Like, and you're all over the place very, very fast.
Yeah.
How much of your mind is deciding where you're going, or are you now just...
I think in the flow state, you're not really deciding, And like, I think we found it last night. Must have been the Hunger Site Jam. So I remember like when I was playing that, we just got going so fast, and I was just like, I was doing shit. I don't even know what I was doing. And like, you don't have to think about like keeping time or like what even you're doing. You're just like instantaneously reacting to what everyone else is doing. And hopefully you have enough training on your instrument in order to like do that well. But yeah, that was like definitely a moment from last night where I was like, okay, how is this happening? But like, don't question it. Just go.
And the light show didn't hurt either. The light show was...
Yeah, we don't really see the light show.
Of course you don't. Yeah. That's really neat, because we were talking to Rick about the antenna, like the fact that, if your antenna is tuned, and tuning it means your skill level is way high.
Yeah.
But you're also, embracing the risk.
Right.
And that's usually where flow happens. I didn't realize it was that defined, but it is. It's like you need the skill level. And what was the other thing, Irv, in the model?
The 22 matrix, you have to feel like you have the skill and are exercising it to the maximum, and you also have to feel you're being challenged. Making something risky or challenging enough.
Yeah.
So that you feel you're using your entire skill level. It's like you're there, and then...
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. I feel like I'm always switching up gear or like trying new sounds, and like the intention behind that is just stay inspired. So it's like maybe just taking risk for me is finding more inspiration, and like that inspiration is leading to like just more flow moments. It's like all like a circle.
So that's really interesting. So changing it up. I'm trying to glean lessons out of everybody who I talk to.
Yeah.
Changing it up. This is the first time I recognized that. Well, this season, of course, that you guys switched your lineup on stage.
Yeah, I mean that was huge.
What's going on there, and why'd you do it?
We did it because it increased our sight lines and communication. So now no one really has to look behind themselves. Like we're a little bit more like in a line. So you just have to look left and right. I think that was like a big thing, just in terms of like, seeing everybody. Like I can now see the whole band just from my view at the piano. I don't have to look any direction, But if I switched it over at keyboard, I have to look, whatever. But at the same time, it was all about communication and just like seeing each other and feeling each other's energy in a stronger way. We're also closer together, which I think is a big factor for that too. You're just with each other more as opposed to like isolation,
And that's the human part of it too, right? Like
Yeah.
The closeness of making music together, but being physically close to other human beings.
Yeah. It's like you're at the
communication.
practice room, It's just like where you're tucked in a small space and you just have to be like right next to the next guy. And that's what you want anyway. So we're just trying to connect out there. So the closer you are, I think the easier it is to connect.
The last night's show, how did you feel last night went?
I thought it was good. I don't think it was our best show. I think like there's been shows where I just feel like every single song, I'm just like, that was maybe the most special version of that song. And I think we had a couple of those shows in Cincinnati, like past couple nights, over the weekend. And I was just like, wow, like front to back, like I felt like the entire thing was special, as opposed to like, I think a normal show will have moments of like, oh, that was really special. Or like, oh, we really found it there. But then, moments of like, okay, like I can tell like somebody's not feeling it here. Like I can tell somebody's not dropping. It's like if we don't all collectively drop in, it's not gonna be the best ever. But I can always tell if somebody's not able to drop in. If there's something going on mentally for them. I think it's just a matter of like it definitely all worked, but I think we're pretty good at making it work. We're pretty good at putting on a show that's awesome, and like I think our level of like, like regular show without like the crazy special like amazing linkage of minds has gone up significantly. Like the average has gone way up, so we're feeling good at just as that. Like it feels good up there. We're playing music, but there is definitely, if we're like, I could tell like there was moments where I was just like, we're not all linking up, it's but it's not happening. But like, try again, next song, whatever it is, it's like, keep trying to connect. What can you do,
And I think that's what's special for the audience is you guys are taking risk because, of course, like it can't be. It can be because most bands do that. Like if you think of U2, at the Sphere, it would have been pretty much the same set over and over and over again. Where Fish did 4 nights and it was completely different every.
Sure.
And that's why people love coming to see improvisational bands because there is risk involved. And that takes me to the question about the audience: how important is the audience energy with how you guys perform and enter flow?
It's like the most important thing. It's so special, and like it makes a huge difference whether or not like you're getting energy from the crowd or not. I'm like, wow, like we came off like the St. Augustine show. Those shows were nuts. The audience was giving us like, they were like throwing more energy than we can take, we were like, holy shit, and it was pretty cool. And those were really special shows. And like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh also is very similar.
Like you need everybody to be in. It's a very vulnerable thing for you to play. Or do your thing or give your all.
Definitely.
Without the feedback.
Definitely. We get energy from like finding new ideas within our own music, which happens every night. And that also, it's juicing up the crowd. That's juicing us up. It's like a different kind of thing as opposed to like, well, we're going to play like the song that everybody loves and they're going to give us so much energy. It's a different exchange. Like a lot of our crowd responds to like like new creative improvisation we're doing on stage as opposed to just like what song is being played. So I don't know. It's a different thing. Like I'm definitely not trying to hate on any band that doesn't jam or whatever.
No, of course. No, it's just a different thing. The reason I was so excited to talk to you guys is because you improvise. And flow is actually something that is studied scientifically with improvisational jazz musicians. And like it's very active. It's a thing. It's a force that keeps you guys, doing it. Anything you want to share? Like knowing that the audience of this film are going to be people who are probably journeying themselves to try, whether they've got a writer's block or they want to go further maybe with their creative practice and they might not have the confidence. I don't know what it is, but
sure.
Anything you want to impart?
I think it's like life is all about balance. So, finding like the balance of your creative endeavors mixed with like just chill time, mixed with putting yourself out of your comfort zone, like all of these different things. I think trying to be the most balanced you can be will allow you to just be the most creative. And also, what's always been good for me is just tapping into like negative emotion. So anytime like I'm upset, angry, or sad, it's like basically creativity is my catharsis. So that's been huge for me. And anytime like you get hit by those emotions, I would just say leaning into them is really impactful, and you'll create some of your best shit like that.
That's awesome. Awesome advice. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Rewiring the Muse podcast with Peter from Goose. It was a fantastic conversation. My biggest takeaway was when Peter talked about creating the environment for flow. Takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of thought. And one of the things that he and the guys at Goose do is change things up. For example, in 2025, these guys actually changed up their position on stage, their lineup, so they could actually see each other better. And that was a decision that they made so they can actually communicate better and find those flow states more easily. And I just want to figure out how to apply that into my life. How do we change things in our environment to make flow states that much more easy to get into? So thanks again for tuning in and watching, and thank you so much as well for considering subscribing to the channel. It really helps. The more people that subscribe, the more ability I have to continue making content like this. We'll see you next week.